In 2020, the leading cause of death in Australians between the ages of 15 and 24 was suicide. It contributed to over 1/3 of all deaths in this age group, a 66% increase from 2010. Each statistic represents a person, someone like you or I, with a family, friends, and full life before them. A life cut short unnecessarily. If we continue in this pattern, 9 Australians will die due to suicide every day, and that rate will continue to increase. We all sit in shock after hearing these statistics, and yet we see the causes for them daily. Peer pressure, manipulation, social media, bullying. It's enough to tear down even the highest achieving and positive teen. Let's face it, we've all heard the problem of teen suicide, and there are so many things being done to raise awareness for it. But are they actually helping? Let the nesting doll represent you. The rocks surrounding the doll are your problems, big and small. Notice how the doll is bigger than the rock surrounding it, each layer working to build it up to be stronger than the smallest version inside. With all these layers, you can overcome anything until they start to fall away. But what makes these layers fall away? Maybe you get to school and are ridiculed for your newest hairstyle, followed by the price of your shoes, then your grade on the last test. When this continues day after day, your self-confidence is slowly chipped away. You feel like you are not good enough and start to try to blend in to save the embarrassment. This outer layer, let's call it your self-worth, is now gone. Introduce social media and the bullying follows you home, once your most valuable safe haven. You can no longer go home and forget, constantly checking your phone for the newest vicious message. When this continues day after day, this next layer now disappears as well. You are getting smaller and your problems seem bigger. With your self-confidence destroyed, you start to try to blend in to save the embarrassment, letting peer pressure push you to make stupid decisions. You change the way you dress, talk, act, just to fit in, letting the influences of others take over what makes you, you. And now we take away another layer, your identity. What next? Bullying so deeply impacts teens that too many are led to believe that the world would be better off without them. Victims of bullying are up to 9 times more likely to commit suicide. Cyberbullying is the biggest and worst mutation of this act. To the bully, it becomes impersonal and all too easy to tap a few keys and turn someone's life upside down. The bullying, both online and off, can cause negative mental health outcomes for the victim, such as anxiety and depression. This leads to the victim becoming too scared to step out of their shell, instead opting to withdraw from any social setting where they could be possibly torn down again. This creates distance between the victim and their friends, who are often unaware of how to help. And now we take away another layer, friends. The victim then gets home and hides himself away in the hope of hiding what they're going through from their loved ones. They put on a brave face instead of showing their true feelings, too afraid to open up and communicate with their family. Ultimately, this leads to the last layer, family, being gone too. We are now left with the smallest inner piece of the nesting doll. It is the seed of the doll and represents the soul of a person. A soul now stripped of its outer shells, a small, fragile remnant of its once seemingly indestructible form. The doll is now smaller than the rock surrounding it. The victim feels alone without support, and their problems overwhelm them. We have so many more layers than the nesting doll, but we can be torn apart just as easily. And without the support of our family, friends, and our own self-worth, our problems can defeat us. It is without a doubt that you will begin to see how the actions of others can have such a negative impact on the life of another. Are you going to be that person who destroys that first layer, who starts the domino effect that leads to someone else becoming so defeated? It might be just a joke, but just a joke can tear someone apart. Just a joke can cause someone's layers to fall away. Just a joke can mean everything to someone who is already barely hanging on. Choose to be the other person, the one who helps to build those layers back up, who helps someone else to be able to overcome their problems once again. And here we come to the how. How can we make a difference? On a personal level, it starts by connecting with them. Let them know that you will listen. Let them know that they are not alone. You may suggest seeking helplines such as Lifeline Australia and Beyond Blue. You may even suggest involving a trusted adult. Build back their layers of support. Whatever you decide to do, any action is better than no action. And that action might make all the difference.